We've got to pay this forward to our design-loving audience because you're going to love how we solved and reoriented this space and created a lot of storage. And you know how those historical homes are. They don't have a lot of closets or storage.
Oh. Raise your hand if you have a niche that you inherited from bad architecture.
Yeah.
I don't, but we've covered up so many of these. You don't need them.
I think a few takeaways would be to go all in with the vision. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dear Alice. Today, we're going to do another remodel masterclass. So this is a series, we've done 2 of them so far, where we take you through a remodel that we've done and some of the problem solving that we do to get to the solutions that we have. So this is a fun one that we actually started on this in 2020, not really fully understanding the pandemic or the issues that would come in our industry. But the house turned out so great. And this one's sort of unique to our portfolio because it's sort of a darling, I feel like.
She's a darling at the ball.
Yeah. This is a historical home here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And it is 2,800 square feet and every space really packs a punch. And I particularly think the problem solving on the kitchen is so masterful that I was like, we've got to pay this forward to our design-loving audience because you're going to love how we solved and reoriented this space and created a lot of storage. And you know how those historical homes are. They don't have a lot of closets or storage.
Oh.
So I think the solutions that we came up with were really, really brilliant, but also space expanding and really genius. And we created some symmetry in a space that sort of lacked that. Yep. And I think the kitchen feels huge, which before it felt so small and petite.
It kind of felt just like an aftermath. Like it was just kind of there on the side, but it had no real like grandeur or focus or anything, which I think a lot of older homes, that is the case until you embark on a remodel and can kind of reimagine it the way that we love to see kitchens nowadays, right? Yeah. Where it's kind of just like, it's the mecca, it's the heart of the house, it's where we start the party. So that's kind of was the goal for this family. It was a young family. And they have 2 like small children and they are living through this remodel. So all y'all that live through your remodels, like we hear you, we feel you. It's not easy. I think we've all lived through a remodel.
Especially a kitchen. Yeah.
Especially a kitchen. But they were up for it and so were we. And we love a historical story. And so this is going to be really, really fun. Again, when you're designing for a human and you're designing for their personality, like she is a powerhouse, a professional, just ophthalmologist, like just a badass mom, like all these things. And she wanted to feel that. She wanted to feel like herself in her home. Another cool thing about this client is that she loves art. So she'd be collecting little things here and there. They would travel all the time. Her brother's an artist. And so she had art kind of like all over the space, which a previous designer would make like a little gallery over here, but nothing was like robust or like really showed her loves or what she was into, which was like a super big disservice to how cool she is. And so that was something that I was really excited to kind of like venture into. And so anyway, we present to you the Sugar House.
Yes.
So the first area we want to start with is the kitchen. This was kind of what we were feeling in this before picture when we walked into the house. It's fine. It's not offensive. Like you can tell that there was some like light remodeling to it previously in the years past from another designer. But the kitchen was just kind of like at a weird angle. See what I'm saying? Like the windows didn't really make sense. There was no symmetry. And I didn't know what to focus on. You kind of see the hood, but then everybody at the bar is like looking toward the other side, which is probably looking towards a fridge and a pantry, which isn't very exciting. So I wanted to kind of orient you here just so you can kind of understand what we were seeing when we first walked into the space and how we needed to start to reimagine it. And when you are looking at your house different, specifically with this house, you kind of have to like say, what windows do we want to keep and what windows do we want to grow or get rid of? So,
and you know what? I think, thank goodness that our client was willing to do the windows, because a lot of times on a remodel, they don't want to touch anything that's going to touch the outer shell of the home, because then that's going to require having people for the stucco or brick masons or whatever to have to come put together the outside of the home. It's pretty disruptive. It gets expensive. You have to have a lot more subs get involved. But I just want to give a shout out. Once you see the afters, it was so worth getting those windows symmetrical to be able to create a grander space for for a hero in the kitchen, which I do feel like small spaces need a hero.
Yeah.
And when you see the new range hood and that whole wall, it was just absolutely mind-blowing and probably one of our favorite kitchens to date.
I really think so. And I think all the tricks that we talk about, when you're taking window treatments all the way up to the ceiling, that makes things longer. When you stretch your cabinetry all the way up to the ceiling, that makes spaces feel taller. So we really did implement all those like rules and tricks in this space, and you would not believe that it was just like short ceilings because it looks incredible. So anyway.
Also, the corner sink is like, it's like if you're doing dishes, you're in timeout.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Look through these short windows,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so.
We'll talk to you when you're done.
And then this is this is the island. You can kind of see there's a dining room back here. So this is the island, and the counter stools are looking towards
the fridge.
And this closet, which we didn't really need that closet. As we talked to the client, again, there was valuable square footage that wasn't being used. And we're like, let's reallocate it. I think it was like extra pantry or storage space. And we're like, why don't we just like grow the kitchen and implement that storage inside our cabinetry so that everything feels more grand and more functional. And you can kind of see what you're working with. Welcome to the afters.
Yes.
We bounced you here quick. Okay, so I just want to go.
We're going to take you guys through the floor plans and the problem solving, but we felt like since the befores were fresh in your mind, you would really enjoy seeing the afters, and then we'll tell you how we got there.
Yes. So here again is that range wall. Again, we just want to expand that entire wall. You'll see on the floor plan how that grows here. Again, is this the same kitchen?
That's so rad.
Are you kidding me?
So this is that pocket where the closet was.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
And where the refrigerator was before. So by taking out the closet and incorporating floor to ceiling towers, you've got, we've got.
Where the fridge still exists.
Yes. Yeah. And then is there pantry behind the other one?
Yeah. So we have all pantry storage, and we have also, again, all that tall storage. You need that for pantry, you need it for fridge. And so it made sense to just keep all that system on this one whole wall and then take it again
to the ceiling.
Yeah, to the ceiling to make it grow.
The full width of this presentation and the full height of it, you can see how this kitchen looks like your dream kitchen in any massive house because you're doing massive tricks. So if you are remodeling a kitchen, and that's what this masterclass is for, those of you that are going through these projects and trying to figure out the space planning and the math of kitchens, this is an A++ trick. I think this does so much for the kitchen to just make it feel grand, and that you're not having all these separate pieces and parts telling different stories at different heights with different materials.
Like the jumpsuit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just really elongated those legs,
right?
Anyway, totally the same trick though to fashion to interiors is that you just really want to just draw your eye from the ground to the ceiling when you're trying to make it grow. So I love that we did this.
And reorienting the island 90 degrees. So that way you're not staring at the pantry because that's not a beautiful sight line. No. Instead, reorienting this island so that you're staring out the windows or at that range hood, which is really where I feel like all the conversation is going on, is either at the stove or at the sink where you're doing dishes. And now the whole family can be part of the conversation and the kids aren't in timeout staring at the wall.
Yes. And while we're looking at this after, I want you guys to notice that next to, again, this tall system of cabinetry, we actually cased out an opening to separate the spaces. Remember how I said it was kind of a run-on sentence? Yeah. And there was no definition of space. We wanted to give definition, not only like so you can feel like you're in a dining room versus a kitchen, but also when you have flooring transitions. And they did have some tile in this space, but like no one remembers it because it wasn't the best, right? It was fine. But we wanted to do something a lot more fashionable. And by doing that cased opening, it really just like gave a little like crescendo, like a little moment for the kitchen.
So I think the reorientation of this was so successful. It made that space feel wider, taller, bigger. Those diagonal lines on the floor feel space expanding and give contrast, and it just feels so luxe.
So good. And one thing I want to point out too is the tile flooring to a really, really incredible pattern that feels a lot more, again, it has some like classic notes because it's the black and white, but it's a new spin on it because the client's young and they're fun. And anyway, she wanted something fashionable. I think that we really did it right.
Yeah, so. And it's marble. And these 3 different shades of marble all playing together to make this pattern just feel so good, and always will. You'll never regret that choice. Yeah, the diagonal line. So good.
Always makes the space feel larger. So, okay, now in this next shot, we're looking at the range, which is from Ilvain. We did a custom color. Everyone always thinks the cabinetry is black, but it's a really, really dark green, which I think makes it more mystical, magical.
I think so too.
Yes, so good.
So we've grounded that whole shot in a 60-inch Ilve. It's got like 8 burners on this thing. It's massive.
It gives.
It really does. And then the range hood stretches over that full 60 inches, also making the space feel massive.
Yeah.
So these windows were existing. That was the size that they were before. But remember how we like had little shorty on the other side?
Little shorty what?
Little shorty windows on the other side in that corner sink.
On the opposite side.
So that one, we're going to show you the floor plan here in a second and show you what we propose to do that she said yes to.
Did you have to take out a window like where the range is sitting right now?
Yes, we actually chose to cover up a window. So we did cover up a window and then exchanged it for 2 taller windows on the opposite side. So again, you feel that symmetry because you remember when you walked in the kitchen before, how you just saw kind of like a sliver. There were all these like random rectangles in different sizes and you didn't see the range. Hot tip, when you're like doing a kitchen remodel, when we're looking at like, what is our money shot? What is the vantage point that we want? We want to see the range. We want to see that big ta-da. I don't want to walk into a big, amazing fridge or a big, amazing, trash compactor. I don't know, whatever it is. You want to see the range.
That's what you did.
You're parking
before.
a car.
You walked in and you saw those garbages at the end of that run of cabinetry.
Yeah. Bummer.
And you were divided because you're like, do I look at the window seat with 10 million pillows on it, or do I look at the garbage cans, or where's that range? It's orienting to see the range. It's just like when you walk into a primary bedroom, you're looking for the headboard.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And so if you walk into a bedroom and the headboard's behind you, you just feel a little bit like you're in a vortex. Like you can't quite ground yourself. And I feel like it's so grounding to walk in, see the range hood.
And just like the bedroom, when you walk into the side of it, you see the mess. Just like a kitchen, when you walk into the side of it, you see the mess. This is a way to conceal and reveal, guys. So you can like keep all your mess behind there, but we get to see the pretty thing and your guests get to see the pretty thing when they walk into your kitchen. So
those of you remodeling, that's what you're solving for. You're solving for your vantage point, and then from there, you're going to work on your work triangles.
Architect is likely going to put the bed in the space that's going to look out your window. I love your view. It's great. Let's try and reorient it so we can get best of both worlds. I want to see your bed. I want to see the range.
Also, from your bed, you can't see the view anyway because you're in your bed. Yeah,
you're so tired. You work so hard.
You're looking at your book or you're watching TV. You're
on your phone. We're doom scrolling.
Yes.
To be honest. Okay. So yes, that was the corner where we had the window seat. Such a glow up. And now let's go into the CAD plans and show you how we workshopped this. As an orientation, this is how we laid out the whole space. So again, you can kind of see how we get some division from that space by adding that little wing wall where we did the casing. This is where, again, we have that pantry, fridge, freezer along that wall. And then you can see, this is the biggest thing, is that the range we centered on that wall where that big window was. And then where we had these windows already existing, we just mirrored them over here. So we got 2 new larger windows in the corner, and we're able to wrap all that lower cabinetry all the way over here. Because we did this, we didn't want to necessarily add like more upper cabinets here. We did choose to do floating shelves here in front of the window. I thought it was really dreamy. And I think historically, like when you look at Europe and things, they kind of don't mess around with upper cabinets too much. Like it's usually like tall furniture pieces, lower cabinetry, and that's where they sit. So historically, I think this is a better like representation and better for her function too. So, and then of course we actually took the island and we turned it like you saw in some of those last pictures, which again, it's so nice because again, the work triangle is a lot tighter. Here, the kids can like look at mom when she's like washing their dishes or, prepping for a meal or whatever. Overall, the space planning of this, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Again,
and looks grander.
Yeah. Before the range was just kind of like right here. Window seat was right here. It just made 0 sense. And then this, we just turned into just kind of like this, a little bit of that kind of drop zone that all moms need. So we kind of kept this like behind you so you don't see the mess.
It's not part of your vantage point at all.
But it still like makes sense. It's still the same finish as everything else.
So practical.
Yes. So that's kind of how we did that. And then here, this is the next one where you can kind of see how we did that tile pattern, which again, by throwing that kind of on the bias, I'll say, on the angle to just like stretch your eye, it just made this older home feel so much larger.
Yeah.
So
I think this is a really nice thing for designers. We always include our tile drawings in with our spaces. We give them the top-down view. This is the plant view, and then we'll also elevate the kitchens. But this just really helps show you scale and helps your client understand it. I just think adding in those layers just really helps tell the story and give them the confidence, and also shows the tile layer that you've accounted for each tile and where you want it to sit within the project.
It's so helpful because, your fabricators will sometimes freestyle if you don't. So you got to like give them a roadmap.
Yep.
So this is our roadmap. Okay. And then this shows that elevation when we were trying to workshop the windows. This was the existing window on the left. Again, we tried to get as large of a range in here as possible with the hood and then mirrored that window on the right. So it gave her a lot of drawer storage. This is on that, again, by where the window seat was. Yeah. But you can just kind of see, again, you don't need another lower cabinetry here. We needed tall storage to just house all the things that they needed.
Yeah, KitchenAids, another, more space for pantry. Yeah, because there isn't a pantry.
Yeah, and
these tall storage towers are her pantries.
Yeah, and this little door goes out to her like back little deck patio where her kids sit, and they have like a little fire pit and whatnot. So this gets a lot of action. And again, by adding something tall here, you're hiding the mess. Yep. For whoever's coming in and out while you're entertaining, which I thought was a really smart move.
And those doors are another window, into the space.
Exactly.
And so you have a lot of natural light bouncing around. Because some people might say, oh, in an older home with a smaller floor plan, why would you do blackened cabinetry, this black and green? Yeah. And you have quite a bit of natural light. You've got this really great black and white contrasting floor. And it's just such a tuxedo moment to have the depth and the interesting color and the custom range just feels so expensive.
So
yeah.
And she already knew what a white cabinetry or white creamy cabinetry felt like before. We already saw that.
Yep.
And it didn't do any favors to a space that we wanted to feel more interesting like the client.
Yeah.
So
I just love her for going for it. I mean, this was 2020. So you know what I mean?
I know.
People were very much still going light and bright and neutral. And right now, just the magazines have started talking about color over the last 2 years. And I just think this is such a baller move. I love how this turned out.
She was so trusting too.
Yeah.
I think that's like the key is just like when you can have good synergy between designer and client and you respect them, they respect like what you're trying to do for them. That's when you can like really come up with some like really, interesting and long lasting things that feel like the client.
Suze, before we started recording, you were telling me about your bubble cuddle blanket from Cozy Earth. Let's tell the people about it.
Okay, I want to shout it from the rooftops. I love this thing so much. The bubble cuddle blanket is the best faux fur blanket out there. I know because my family all has versions of all the other ones and they look like flat tires, but the bubble cuddle has a structured grid that's quilted on the front and the back, and it is so soft. And I don't mind having it out on my sofa with all my other beautiful curated things because it's that lovely. And I say it is cozier than all the others. So I love my bubble cuddle.
So if you want to get a bubble cuddle blanket or any of the amazing products that Cozy Earth offers, head to cozyearth.com and use our code DearAlice for up to 20% off. That's cozyearth.com, code DearAlice. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth.
Now we're going to go into the dining room. So again, in these spaces, it's still all kind of like open to one another. It's not like in this house we had a big enough space to have its own dining room. It's still shared, but we're going to show you how we gave it some
And we're going to show you the before pictures of the dining room first, and then we'll show you the afters. Yes.
This was not our work, but fine dining room. You can kind of see they did have, again, you saw how we cased it out.
Yeah.
So what we did in this dining room, they have a little angled out bay window here. There's some separation, but they just had like this like little chair rail finish work, and we just want to really give it some definition. So we're going to show you how we did full finish work, squared up a lot of these kind of eyebrow, old-fashioned arcs that weren't doing any favors. Here's another shot. This is looking into, so in this space on the right, you see the dining room, and then you have like the entry family room. So it's all very open to one another. But you can just see, again, it needs some definition of space and needs to show off the personality of the client. In these drawings, this is, again, another trick when you just do a chair rail in an already short house, it just like cuts you right in half. You want to do that elongating trip. So doing solid tall panels will stretch your eye up, just like we did in the kitchen. We did the same thing in this dining room. You can kind of see that. And we'll show you the fireplace here in a second too, but we glowed that up too. So these are the new pictures of the dining room. And you can kind of see that peekaboo, how he squared up that casing. Can you believe Ryan is shaking his head, our producer? He cannot believe his eyes. It's so good. But just by going larger scale, I think that's something that a lot of people veer away from when you're working with like older homes or small spaces are just like, well, we'll keep things petite because that'll make the room look larger. Lie. You want to blow it up. You want to grow things. You want to elongate things. And so by making the panels taller, that whole space feels so much better.
And kind of defines that space a little bit. Like one thing I think is the genius thing about this is even going back to the kitchen where you reoriented the way that the island faces, that's facing through the dining room into the family room, right? So you're connecting them all, although you kind of did create their own spaces. You defined them, what each of them are, but also like brought it together, which is probably exactly what they wanted. They wanted like, a great room feel, but each room to be its own.
More impressive. I will say the transitions of this home is so much more interesting too, because like, even when you look from the dining room into that kitchen, you just get a half of the island. And then you have to kind of go, keep traveling into the space
story.
to get the full story, which I think is a much more successful space. So anyway, I love this space. Oh, what else shall I say? The paneling is such a win. I think the large
the connection of the large scale picture molds, they really connect into that full scale cabinetry. Yeah.
Amazing.
The rhythms, I think, really connect well and they just lead to the other. And I think that this sort of dark peacock leather that we used on the chairs also connects back into the kitchen. And I love on the rug here, these like sort of swooping movements, organic movements, because we do have so many geometrics that this just feels so good. Those softer lines and it's so
like
stunning.
The client.
The case opening did the dining room some favors too, because it kind of gave it a corner and gave it definition where before it was kind of like that corner was melting into a closet type of thing. So it's awesome. I love it.
And I felt like that little arc eyebrow kind of weakened the space. Like it just kind of felt like, a limp flower.
Yeah.
And I think we gave it some real strength in defining one space from the next.
Totally agree.
Such great points to learn from. Yes. Love it. Yeah, let's show them the before on that fireplace.
Are you guys ready? Okay. Before in the fireplace. Raise your hand if you have a niche that you inherited from bad architecture. I don't, but we've covered up so many of these. You don't need them.
We've all had one.
Yeah, I don't know what large geo like all these cats had in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, to be like, I need a niche.
Large geo.
That's 54 inches tall and 3 inches deep. I don't know. They were the stupidest dimensions. Anyway, fill them in. You don't need to have those.
Well, and in that image on the right, look at all the different things happening. We've got an angled wall. We've got eyebrows. Yeah, we've got an eyebrow going down the stairs, and you can see the ceiling wall coming through on an angle of the stairs coming down. Then you've got a niche with a squared top, right? And then how about the mantle?
But a radius back too, like in that thing.
It's just all the tricks in one. Yeah, they just tried them all right here. So cleaning this up definitely feels a lot better. I can't wait for you to show them.
And then they just underlined it with some like stone there or something at the bottom. Okay, crazy.
Okay. I know. This was the after. Again, I wish we had more pictures of like that corner, but this at least shows you how we solved it out. Again, we just cleaned it up. We got some dark marble, which we did on purpose just to kind of bring some saturation to this, like, because you're still keeping the walls relatively neutral in this public space. So how are we adding interest? How are we connecting things? We have this deep cabinetry. We have the peacock chairs. We have a lot of like cool things happening. It felt really good to bring a dark marble to that fireplace to kind of echo what you're actually going to be, because you see this first when you walk into the house. And then you're getting a little bit of those moments of depth before you start to like warm up, and then you get to like the kitchen, where she pops off. So it's so good.
Going back to the picture you just showed us, I've seen this obviously picture for a few years now, but where that mirror sits up on that landing, did you guys like intentionally put that finish mold in that, for that to sit there? Because I was like, man, that is like,
this was 2 kids ago. I can't remember if we did that or if that was existing. That may have been existing. Either way, we did hang this gallery very intentionally. And we did a couple galleries, and like, I think stairwells are the best place for this type of action. This mirror just happened. I think this was like her old entry mirror.
I just want to echo that really quick. Yeah. Sue just said stairwells are the best place to do a gallery wall. Sue, will you show them the gallery wall before?
This is the gallery wall where she had her TV, trying to, like, the TV was trying to blend with the gallery.
You guys remember this trick from Domino magazine where it would be like your TV is blending in with all of this artwork. So you can see that she's got a collection of things. Like Sue said, her brother's an artist. She loves art. Go back to the slide before in the stairwell. Now this feels like you can get a lot closer to the artwork because you're traveling up The stairs, you can go slower as fast as you want, but you're so close that you can admire these teeny tiny pieces. The teeny tiny pieces could go in a powder bath. They could go in a stairwell. They could go in a set of built-ins, but it's really hard to float that many little pieces on a wide open wall like that. It just gets knick-knacky.
It's nervous.
It does. Yeah. And I just wanted to say, like, this was such a good placement for the art was in that stairwell. And I love the strength of the new mantle now, that black marble to introduce, like you said, what's happening in the kitchen and just ground the space. It's so smart.
Another thing too, again, when you do have a short chair like that, you're going to want to kind of extend it. So a gallery wall is another way to just kind of like do a full like wall treatment so that you forget that you have shorter ceilings.
Yeah.
Because it's just like reaching all the way up.
That's in addition to
That's
the
an addition
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's grand.
No, it totally does.
Love.
Okay, we saw this. Again, lots of little art. This is where her TV was. Again, I know we don't usually like say put the TV over the fireplace, but in this scenario, it allowed for a really, really big art moment on the wall that this was previous. And that is this.
Beautiful.
Okay, so this is that family room. Again, using large pieces. She had that great little hand-knotted rug. Too small for the space, but when you layer it with a big jute rug to just kind of like stretch out the space, it's so impressive. And you just do larger scaled pieces. You do like a lovely sofa. You'll see it's like in this like really, again, kind of that peacock ambiguous colored velvet. You have the zebra needlepoint chairs. So again, kind of like bringing some of those heirloom qualities back. And then you have, again, this like molten metal table. It's so pretty. A large surface with a mirrored top.
Yeah, and I think that cocktail table is
This
like
helps
54 by 54.
It's incredible.
It's huge, which makes the space feel really grounded. And then being able to have your upholstery surrounding that. This looks so designer and grand.
And okay, this piece of art, how wide is that? I want to say that those are like 104. So like it's like in the 90s.
Yeah, you can 94.
It's so
probably.
large. Yeah. This is this like kind of reproduction of a fresco. But we needed something large. So again, when you're dealing with short ceilings, go big on your art. Go wide, go tall, fill up the wall because it'll grow up your space a lot. And then again, those little collections and galleries are meant for the stairwell or smaller moments.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. Okay, now let's go into the office.
Yes.
Okay, these are the before pictures. Again, we're just like neutrals, some soft sadness a little bit. But no built-ins or anything to like really house. And that's what she needed. She's like, we have book collections and we have like, we'd love to come in here and it's just not working.
And there was a piano in here too, right?
Yeah,
so they probably have sheet music.
Which we did keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those stand-up pianos.
So she's got a coffered ceiling that we were gifted with, which is
which
really,
is
really lovely.
Yeah.
The before is just a really neutral taupe, white finish work, and Roman shades with kind of a trellis pattern on it.
Yeah.
A Moroccan rug on the ground, and then armoire for storage, baskets on the ground for storage. Just you can see that she's starving for storage. Yeah. So let's show them what we did. So added full height built-ins on one wall, gave her a desk, and I love this little Thomas O'Brien trick of perching the chair so somebody can come in and sit down and visit you.
But not have their back to the door necessarily. Again, in spaces like this. And what you can't see is right behind. Again, these are small spaces. Right behind here is where we have the stand-up piano, the upright piano.
Great.
And so again, this kind of become like for a teacher or, a spectator looking at what they're practicing.
You could pull it to whatever way you need it. So coffered ceiling got a glow up. This whole room got painted. What do you call this? It's almost
kind of like this deep Dutch blue.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. But to the point of when people are just like painting a space dark will make it feel smaller. Not necessarily. I don't think so. And especially when you can do a color drench like that. Again, just like the doors in the kitchen, of taking that color all the way up, it actually can make it feel like taller and more dramatic. Much more than just like keeping it light, white and boring. So anyway, I think all the architecture, I think the coffers mixed with like how we did the cleating in the shelving, I think are such a cool like stepping rhythm that talks to each other. I just think it turned out, it's so smart. I've lived in old homes and you just need more storage from like side to side, top to bottom. You have to be accountable to that. And so I'm so happy with how that turned out. Okay, this is that upright piano that's like behind that shot that we just showed you. That's the before. This is the after.
Piano finish is the same.
Yes.
Yes, piano finish is the same.
Also, another great place for galleries is I love it when you wrap a gallery around a corner.
A corner?
Yeah. It's so smart. And you can see there's room to just keep going too. She can keep collecting.
It's a living, growing
and it
thing.
continue to grow. Yeah.
And it's
so smart.
It's so much interesting.
Add some jars, add a baby lamp, put a little olive tree inside your pot. Like that is just so smart and editorial.
Yeah. And my favorite thing is the doorway into this space, like is a straight on shot to this gallery wall right here. And so you look into there, you don't even see the desk. You don't see the built-ins or anything because that could relatively get messy. But by keeping the piano there, like you just get to see like the prettiest moment and then you get to meander. All of it's pretty.
Do we want to show the before one more time?
I actually do.
That is just so
Camera one, camera two.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Camera one, camera two,
good.
camera one, camera two. It's so
pretty.
good.
I
And it
love
feels
this.
historic and it feels so much like our client. She's just
so good.
She's the best.
But if you're gonna go in there and like play piano and try to be inspired and do like
Yeah.
what room?
Staring
are you
at that
I
taupe
know.
wall in timeout in the corner.
No
I
one's
would
writing anything
practice.
good on that.
Nobody
I would
is.
practice in here.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your kids are going
If
to
And
be
you'd feel like Elton John doing it.
I was going to
I
say, if you want your kid to
know,
grow up
for
and be a
real.
Benson Boone, you've got to provide an atmosphere for
Yeah,
him to do that in.
exactly.
Yes, so good.
Benson, you heard that. Anyway, okay. Now we're going to take you upstairs just
This
to the
is-
primary.
This is your last and final space
Yes, we're
in the
so
remodel
close.
that we'll show you today. So this is the before. I think a lot of people would be really happy with this before,
Yeah,
right?
Mhm.
You're definitely feeling the early 2000s in those lamps, right?
you sure are.
Yeah, but yeah, she's about to get a glow up. What was
About to
her
get a glow up.
directive on this? How did she want the space to feel?
She just wanted it to feel more serene, more calm, more, I think just like you have two kids, you're a working mom, you're busy. She just wanted it to feel like them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, again, like you said, would be really happy with this. And this is something that you could easily like get all these pieces and parts at a store, a local store, anywhere. But she wanted it to be thoughtful, just like the rest of the house. And this is one of the last spaces we did. And we kept the paneling, but I'm going to show you what we did. Is we painted the paneling. We kept the ceiling actually white with the casing, but we did a grass cloth texture inside the panels just to kind of add some softness. And again, just like make it feel a little bit more easy, shoulders down. Ambiguous in color too. It's just kind of this like taupey. Is it pink? Is it clay? It's, just like she purchased this bed. She was holding on to it and we're like, you know what, let's just recover it. Bed's fine. The bed's frame's great. But we're going to like throw some pink in there just to like give some
like
saturation.
A shelter bed.
It is.
Yeah, it's so good. And she kept the nightstands too. Those are the same nightstands.
Kept a bed that she had.
Uh-huh.
Got a new mirror. Again, I think the biggest thing though too is just like to wrap an environment with a color, and kind of to take that a theme throughout, just as every selection that you pick, does it like kind of get along with it, especially when you want a space to feel restful.
Mhm.
If you want to feel jumpy, do color blocking. You can do more exciting things in a bedroom. I think it's its job to just kind of calm down at the end of the day.
Also, no, I mean, we love a Roman shade, but look at the difference on the before of the Roman versus the drape.
Camera one,
So much more height to
camera
that.
two.
Right? And
Yeah.
just like sophistication, fullness, softness. Something about drapery folds are just so dreamy and soft in a bedroom.
Yeah,
I
and-
just love this.
And I like kind of how the drapes a little bit go away with the wall, because then when you're looking across the room, there's not like all these stopping points.
Yeah.
And probably in a smaller room
Like
too, you're going to
cocoons
notice that
you.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just you're feeling the whole room at once.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. You guys did such a great job.
And even if you look back at like these lamps again, it's just like a lot of legs, a lot of rhythm versus
Lot of
having something. Yeah.
nervousness. Also, I think that that sort of marquee shape or whatever
Yeah.
you call it, lantern shape, is also quite early 2000s
Yeah.
and kind of dated things.
Mm-hmm.
And so just by having a solid body on the lamp took away the nervousness and just felt really sophisticated.
Yeah.
So good. Even the posture of that chair at the desk feels laid back.
Yeah.
It's just so dreamy.
That's where she gets to do her makeup every morning.
I
Again,
mean-
we're in an old house, so you really have to double up your functions because the bathroom's not massive, so
So good.
anyway, that concludes the remodel masterclass. The
Love
Sugar
this.
House.
So I think a few takeaways would be to go all in with the vision, right? There's a lot of bold moves that she made that I think a lot of people would have chickened out and went neutral on, but by using the contrast, using the color, going for the depth, going for the big range, really keeping those vantage points in mind, this really opened up this floor plan and gave you gorgeous vantage points from the front door to the mantle, to the dining, into this kitchen. And that office, like you said, like standing in the doorway, seeing that piano with that gallery that wraps the wall. There's just so many beautiful spaces for the eye to land. Yep. And it's like it's all grown up. It's really sophisticated.
I'm going to say even in a small space, I feel like you have less opportunities to make an impact. Yeah. So when you have that opportunity in a small space, you have to go for it.
I just need to point out one more time now that you've seen the whole house. This house is 2,800 square feet. So there's still other bedrooms in this house, but you've seen the main living spaces and they all feel like a big house, don't you think?
Yep.
No.
So good.
Big design energy.
Yeah, big design energy. Yeah, cue that song. Yeah. So good. I hope this has been helpful for those of you that are working out remodels. There will be more of these to come in the series, but this concludes the Sugar House, and I think it was fantastic. This work is done by our design firm, ALID. Alice Lane Interior Design. So if you are looking to embark on a remodel, we'll do your project if it's like the whole project like this. We won't just do a kitchen or a bathroom. We really need to be able to get in there and cut our teeth into the project. So if you're interested, definitely hit up our website, the Design Services tab.
Yep. And then you'll go to ALID, fill out that form, and then an ALID designer will get back to you.
Yeah.
And follow us on Instagram too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, give them our handle.
So Alice Lane Interiors.
Alice Lane, interior design. Alice Lane
Interiors.
Alice Lane Interiors. Follow Alice Lane Interiors on Instagram. And Alice Lane Interiors has its own website also, and you can see the portfolio and you can get to the design services form from there. And we'll do any remodels, whole projects, or any new construction, whole projects. And we're booking projects for 2025. So we'd love to work with you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and share the show with your friends, comment. We love your comments. And if you have any ideas for podcasts for us, if you're like, oh, I wish you'd really cover this topic, send those to Dear Alice at alicelanehome.com. And we will see you next week. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.